all for the course Banking Theory, Law and Practice. The topic of this session is mobile banking and digital check. In modern times, the information exchange that takes place at great speed, as you know pretty well, the dependence of people on computing devices such as computers, cellular phones, pagers, facsimile machines, email, and the internet is growing at a galloping rate. Such a growth has made the real-time exchange of information a reality. At the same time, it has also thrown challenges to modern enterprises which prompt them to act in a proactive manner so as to stay competitive in the business world. The constant innovations happening in the realm of electronic banking and financial services has contributed to a new development called mobile banking. This may be attributed to the forthcoming demand from the mobile workforce. The increasingly growing number of mobile workforce has really given a cutting edge to the progress of the electronic banking. Everyone is using mobile phone and offered by all the banks the mobile banking terminology. And using such mobile banking, the people need not waste their time and easily transfer, operate their accounts. What is mobile banking? Let us see one by one. The kind of banking and financial service that gives a real-time mobile access to customers on the move is called mobile banking. This service is being offered through mobile phones only. If at all if the people do not have the mobile phone, this service cannot be obtained. So to make use of this service, mobile banking service of all the banks, the people must have a mobile phone with the actual number which is allotted for the mobile, or the mobile service that has to be obtained with a number from the mobile service operators. Mobile banking. What is the definition of mobile banking? The mobile banking refers to the banking activity that are carried out on mobile or cell phone. That is the banking which is enabled even while a person is on the move. While roaming, the person can obtain the mobile banking service, can use the mobile banking service as far as the concerned activity which is expected to be carried out by all the individuals. But what is the main and fulcrum of this mobile banking? That they should have the mobile phone and proper network facility with the operator. What are the features of the mobile banking services? Let's see one by one now. The mobile banking services offered by the banking and financial institutions has different features. What are they? That's what we are going to see now. One is the mobile customer. Those who use mobile telephony use mobile banking services, and mobile telephony is used through mobile phones. The next feature is m-commerce. Mobile banking is a part of m-commerce whereby business and trade takes place through mobile online. Those mobile users who become online internet users, they can do m-commerce. So once the mobile banking is ensured, mobile banking is registered by a customer, can do all m-commerce activities. Then technology based is another feature of the mobile banking services offered by the banking and financial institutions. What is technology based? Happening in the realm of mobile banking are based on technology development. Mobile banking makes use of the internet for transmission, transaction, and delivery of banking services. The network provides the required software support, otherwise it cannot be availed. Then types of services is another feature of mobile banking. The mobile banking offers the entire internet-based banking services, much as online account opening, account verification, funds transfer, and statements, etc. So that the mobile banking has a number of features, particularly the type of services offered freely for the mobile banking users. Then eligibility is another feature of mobile banking services. At present, mobile banking is extended only to individual customers having accounts with any branch of a particular bank that offers internet banking facility. Further, it is also required that the customers is registered as an internet banking customer. Unless they registered as internet banking customer, they will not be offered for mobile banking services. But now, the mobile banking services which are offered by different UPIs, Unified Payment Interface, application is another feature. In order to avail the facility of mobile banking, an application duly filled in is to be submitted to the bank. The application is invariably made available in the official website of the bank, which can be downloaded and filled in by a customer and uploaded even via the digital mode, or else can be submitted in person at the branch offices. These are all the features of mobile banking services offered by the banks today. Let's go and see the registration facility for mobile banking. It is usually required that the customer who registers for internet banking also registers for mobile banking. For this purpose, a common application form is to be filled, and such an application is to be submitted at branch offices. What are the essential requirements for this? There is a common application which is to be used, and there are number of requirements for registration. While registering for the banking services, the customers are required to submit different documents along with the application. These are collectively known as the essential requirements. What are they? To register and use the mobile banking services, the customers are required to submit the following details. It is incumbent that the following requirements are met out by the customers. Right? Let's see one by one. The service available only to an existing customer of the branch who is availing the internet banking services. Otherwise, it will not be offered separately. And such mobile banking services facility will be offered to the customers those who have registered internet banking services, registered for the internet banking services. Registration for internet banking and mobile banking services are simultaneously allowed. At the time of registering for the internet banking facility itself, the customer is allowed to register for the mobile banking services. And it is available for the individual customer only, not the group customers or the organizations and all. That will be different in nature and dimension also. The need for mobile phone is another requirement. For every individual who wishes to register for the mobile banking facility is to have a separate mobile phone, need for owning a mobile phone. If wireless application protocol banking is to be availed, the mobile phone should be WAP enabled, whose browser is capable of sending the referrer URL. Otherwise, the WAP enabled services will be discarded, or WAP enabled services cannot be availed. So there are different services offered by the banks under mobile banking services. What are such services? That's what we are going to see now. Under the gamut of mobile banking, the following services are available. One is SMS banking services. The two is WAP, wireless application protocol banking services, which we are going to see now. First, we take into account the SMS banking services. The SMS stands for Short Messaging Services. The service enables the mobile banking customers to access SMS server through their mobile phone. SMS server provides message inputs, whatever be the query, whatever be the request, from mobile phone to the personal server of the internet banking company. Once a detail is sent to the internet banking service offered by the company, such company will answer the query or the request of the customer. These are then processed and the output or the result or the status of request is sent back to the customer's mobile phone through SMS server. For SMS banking, one need not connect to internet. So what is required? The mobile as well as the registered number and the SMS service that should be enabled in the mobile. And the customer can avail the following services under the SMS banking. What are such services? A customer can make an inquiry about the balance availability. A customer can have a query of the last 5 transactions. He can avail the last 5 transactions by means of SMS inquiry. And a customer is able to send mail to the bank's relationship officer for any type of inquiries, so that that mail will be accepted and acknowledged by the banks, will be replied immediately after having verified the accounts and other details. Customer is able to change the SMS password if at all if it is password protected. And customer can opt out of SMS, opting out of the SMS services. These are all the SMS banking services which can be availed by a customer while registering for the mobile banking facility. Then let's see the WAP, wireless, what is that? Wireless Application Protocol, WAP banking services. The WAP banking services is also offered to the customers while registering for the mobile banking services, but the mobile what they have had is to be enabled with WAP services. Otherwise, such services cannot be availed by the customers. What are WAP banking services? The WAP banking services is done through the internet also. Banking done through WAP enabled phone is called WAP banking. The WAP enabled mobile phone is a miniature computer monitor. In order to use WAP banking, one needs to connect to internet on the WAP enabled mobile phone. So there should be a mobile phone, registered number, internet connectivity as well as WAP enabled mobile phone. Therefore, it is important that the customer obtains a current internet connection. The customer can avail some of the services under the WAP banking. What are they actually? Let's see one by one. Viewing details of the account. Customer can view the details of his account in the WAP banking services. Customer can make an inquiry for knowing the balances availability on account. And customer can make a query of the last 5 transactions which could be acknowledged by the bank and could be sent back in terms of a statement, a digital statement. These are all the normal services which can be availed by, or the services those can be availed by the customer using WAP banking services. So under mobile banking, the customer can be offered by the internet banking companies. 2 services are called the SMS banking services and WAP banking services. There are so many security issues. Such security issues are protected by the bankers at the time of providing the service. What are they? Some of them are going to be discussed now. The security for the use of mobile banking is ensured by the use of password. Password is nothing but the secret code of identification of a user. The customer or the user or customer user is given a login ID and a password on the registration for internet banking. The login ID and the password need to be changed by the user immediately on obtaining the internet banking registration. Of course, you know pretty well there will be a cover which contain all the papers for the registration acknowledgement, which will definitely have been kept with the passwords. That passwords will be different from that of the password what we are going to change, and that password is to be taken first. And initially using that password you have to go inside and change the password according to your convenience. This is for internet banking, mobile banking, as well as the other services offered by the banks. In the case of web banking, one should use the same user login ID and transaction passwords with which access to the internet banking services is made. However, your user ID needs to be enabled by the bank for web banking on the basis of applications submitted for the same. This is essential for availing the web banking. In the case of SMS banking, the bank will first enable the user ID for SMS facility on the basis of the application for the same. Only then the customer can access the domain of the banking company. Otherwise, he cannot access the domain of the banking company. So he has to use the same ID as well as the password which is in current or which is in progress. Accessing SMS banking through internet login password is not allowed. Internet login password is different from SMS banking. A customer can access SMS banking only through SMS password, which is exclusively given to the customer. However, with internet login password, one can access the domain of the banking company through internet banking or web banking using the web enabled mobile phone. So there are different passwords. Internet banking has been kept with one password, SMS banking another password, web banking another password, right? Mobile banking, for which purpose you are registering, either SMS or web or both, you should get different passwords. For the first time, one can choose the SMS password only in the relevant domain of the bank by accessing through internet, and subsequently SMS password can be changed through an SMS on the mobile phone also. However, it is not possible to change the web password separately. Change of web password happens automatically with change in internet login password. And registration is required for mobile banking when the cell number is changed from the one already you used and registered. Once you register the mobile number, that will be continuous. Unless you wish to change your mobile number, it will not be changed by the banking company. Before the change of the cell number, it is possible for the customer to withdraw from SMS banking using the necessary option. The customer needs to take up with the bank after getting the new cell number and duly informing the internet banking user ID and the new cell number. Bank will accordingly register the new cell number and use to have the new cell number to send mails, messages and other details. So the customer is required to inform the banking company, internet banking company, within which he registered for the SMS service or mobile banking service, whatever it be. He has to inform the company that he has changed the mobile phone. Unless the change of mobile phone is brought into the notice of the banking company will offer all the services to the registered mobile numbers at the one which is used at the first time of registration. So that every customer must be very careful this security issue, that whenever he changes his mobile number as well as the service operator's number, that should be informed to the bank either in writing or in digital mode, right? Or in person at the branch offices, so that the branch offers the internet services or the mobile banking services will make a note of it and register and change the mobile number of the customer and will do continuously the services without any intervention, without any interruption. So these are all the security issues that are to be concentrated by all the customers. Let's discuss about the digital checks. What do you understand by digital check? What is it actually? The digital check or e-check, an electronic version or representation of a paper check. A digital check or e-check is an electronic version or representation of a paper check. Usually the checks will be issued by the bank for the account holders, for the benefit of the account holders, in terms of 10 to 20 leaves in a book contained checkbook, which will be having the paying details to be filled in an application form like one sheet which is attached with the checkbook, and all the check leaves contain the serial numbers and all. This is physical check. Physical checkbook will be. The account holder writes an e-check using a computer or other type of electronic device. So to have a check digitally, the customers are required not to have the checkbook physically. They have to go with the permission of the bank using their computer or any other device which is equivalent to computer to prepare the electronic check called digital check. That check which is prepared, written by an account holder using a computer or other type of electronic device, and transmits such a check called e-check to the payee electronically. Like paper checks, e-checks are also signed by the payer and endorsed by the payee. The facility which is available there to put the signature of the customer who is preparing and sending to somebody else the e-check or a digital check, and which could be acknowledged and endorsed by the payee also. So these are all the things that are the facilities available in the digital check. Let's go for the working of the e-check. How does an e-check work? We need to understand. The e-check work differently, as not like the physical check or paper check. An e-check is an electronic money transfer that moves money directly from your bank account through your account into another user's account. From your account, the money will be transferred to another account using that e-check. E-checks, like paper checks, can take up to 10 working days to clear. But nowadays it has been shortened to 3 more days, right? The key takeaways or the key points of e-check. An electronic check, which is a form of payment made via the internet that is designed to perform the same function as a conventional paper check. An electronic check, which is a form of payment which is made via the internet that is designed to perform the same function as what is performed by the conventional paper check. One of the more frequently used versions of the electronic check is the direct deposit system, which is offered by many employers. Direct deposit system which is offered by many employers. Then, generally the costs associated with issuing an electronic check are notably lower than those associated with the paper checks. The cost is very less. How do you compare the cost? See, an electronic check has more security features than standard paper checks. The cost is 10% of what is the cost used for the paper check. Let's see the benefits of electronic checks. The cost associated with issuing electronic checks are notably lower than those associated with the paper checks. Not only is there no requirement for a physical paper check, which costs money to produce, But also, electronic checks do not require physical postage in cases of payments that is being made to entities outside the direct reach of the entity issuing the funds. It is estimated that the cost of electronic check is 10 pies than that of what is spent for the traditional physical paper check 1 rupee. While a traditional check may cost as much as rupee 1 to issue, an electronic check costs closer to rupee 0.10, that is 10 paise only. That does mean 10% of what is the cost actually proposed to be spent for or actually spent for the traditional paper check. The electronic checks also come with a lower risk of the associated funds being stolen, as there is no tangible item to intercept. Further, there are multiple levels of authentication to help ensure funds are routed properly.